Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to view and add alternate time zones on your Garmin Instinct Crossover watch. I'm using the solar version. It shouldn't matter whether we've got the solar or the non-solar version. This feature is going to be the same on both of them. This is also a feature that's not unique to the Crossover. It's also on the Instinct 1, Instinct 2, and other Garmin watches. So first let's talk about the alternate time zone and how you get to viewing that information. There's actually a lot of different ways you can do it. I'm going to show them to you before we go add an alternate time zone. You can add it to your control wheel. If you press and hold the top left button, it'll basically take you to a list of shortcuts that you can customize either on the watch or using the Garmin Connect app on your cell phone. And you can see that one of them I've got set up is alternate time zones. So all I had to do is press and hold the top left button, and I can get into my control wheel and I can use the up or down button and go to whatever I want. And I can get to alternate time zones that way. I would just press GPS and I could view my alternate time zones. I haven't set up any of them yet. I could press GPS and set them up from here. That's one of the ways we can get to it. The other thing you could do is you could add the alternate time zone glance. I've done a video in the past that walks you through how to edit your glances. You could press the up or down button to get to your glance list, and you can see that one of them I've got added is alternate time zones. Again, it's showing none because there's none that I've set up on the watch. If I press GPS, it would take me exactly to the same place we just saw in the control wheel so that I could add a time zone. Personally, I don't use either of those two. I don't use the alternate time zone glance and I don't use the control wheel. And the reason I don't is because it will always be, if you press and hold the bottom right button of the watch, it takes you to a sub-menu of different clock options, and alternate time zone is always there. And unlike your glances in your control wheel that you can delete items from it, you cannot delete it from here. So you're always going to have alternate time zones by pressing and holding the bottom right button. As a result, I just use that. I don't put it in my control wheel or my glances, but you could if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and let's press the GPS button. Now, when you press this bottom right button, there's a bunch of different things in here. It will drop you on the last item that you used. In my case, it was alternate time zone, so it put me there. If you don't see it, just use the up or down button and go down to alternate time zones. I'm gonna press the GPS button, and again, we're seeing the same thing as we saw before. I have none set up. Let's go ahead and let's set one up. We're gonna press the GPS button. The first thing you have to do when you select your alternate time zone is you have to choose a region. I can use the up or down button when it's showing me this map, and it's basically going to cycle me through the different regions that I can choose for my alternate time zone. You'll notice as I'm pressing the up and down button, a different value will highlight. So right now I'm on Australia. I'm going to press GPS to choose Australia, and then it will show me all of my different time zone options in Australia. Again, I'm just using the up or down button to go through that list, and let's choose one. Let's choose Melbourne. It shows me the current time in Australia in Melbourne, and then it shows me the difference between that time and my current time. Press the GPS button. I have the option to rename it, so if I don't like Melbourne, it will basically take me in and it will let me change the name of it using the editor. I'm going to go ahead and press the back button. I'm okay with the name. Instead of renaming the zone this time, I'm going to press the bottom left button for the X to say, no, I don't need to rename it. And we've successfully added Melbourne as our alternate time zone. I can go down, press GPS to add another one. In this case, let's go back the other way. I'm going to go to, let's do something basic. I'm on the West Coast. And we'll go through and we'll pick, let's do Anchorage. Again, gives me the option to rename it. I'm going to do no. So now you can see I've got a listing here. I've got Melbourne, I've got Anchorage. I could add additional ones. What if I said, you know what? I shouldn't have added Melbourne. I should have added something else. I can go to the bottom here and choose Edit, press GPS, and then it lets you choose which one you want to edit. I can choose Melbourne. I can either rename it. I can change the zone if I just wanted to choose something different, or I could delete it to where I wouldn't have it in my listing at all. Again, I'm going to go ahead and press back. We have successfully added some alternate time zones. So now if we go to the control wheel and we choose alternate time zone, we can see our alternate time zone listings and we can go and view each of them. Same thing with the glances. If I press up or down to go into my glance list, I can see the alternate time zones. Where the glance list is a little bit nice is it gives you a little bit more detail to where I can see both of them listed in that glance. And again, just like any glance, I can press on the GPS button to get in and see more details. The other thing you can do is on your watch face, you can add the alternate time zones as a data field. There's one watch face that comes delivered on the Garmin Instinct Crossover that's kind of designed for viewing your alternate time zones, and I'm going to show you that one. So just like any other watch face, to edit it, we're going to press and hold the menu button. We're going to press GPS to choose watch face, and then we're going to go down the listing of delivered watch faces, and you will see one that kind of has a map. I'm going to press GPS to select it, and then I can choose to customize this watch face. And basically, if I use the up or down button, you will see the alternate time zones listed from my alternate time zone listings that I just created. So Melbourne is blinking, but I can press the down button, I can choose UTC, I can choose my local time, or again Melbourne. What's interesting is it doesn't show me Anchorage. So let's press GPS and let's confirm that. This is just another data field down here. It can be really anything we want. So I'm going to choose the day of the week and the date. And then this bottom one, again, can be anything we want. This is going to be my current time. So my current time is 12:23. My current date is this. My alternate time zone is showing, and then it's showing me on a map where that alternate time zone is from. Let's go edit my listing, and let's put Anchorage first and Melbourne second to see if it reflects it in this watch face or not. So again, I'm going to press and hold the bottom button on the right-hand side. I'm going to go to alternate time zones, and I'm going to choose, let's see if we could edit it, and let's change Melbourne to Anchorage. Oops. And now let's change Anchorage to Melbourne. It's kind of silly. You would think they would just let you rearrange them versus doing it this way, but this will be fine either way. So now when you go to my world time zone listings, I have Anchorage first and Melbourne second. Let's go back to my watch face and see what happens. And you can see that the watch face is automatically updated. So this watch face, whatever you have listed in your alternate time zones as your first one, will be reflective in this watch face. So my world time now is Anchorage, and I still have my current time down there. This isn't the only watch face. I think we can add it as a data field on some of the other ones. I'm going to choose watch face. Let's just change to something else. This is a pretty boring one. Let's see if it happens to have world time as an option. A lot of them will have UTC time, but as far as world, see, and there's your UTC time, but it doesn't look like it has your world time. Oops. Well, oh, there it is, yeah. So you can add it in additional watch faces. Again, Anchorage was the only one that showed up because that is the first one in my alternate time zone listings. Pretty basic stuff. Basically, you're going to want to set up your world times, add as many as you want, pay attention to the first one you have in your list because it's going to come into play as a data face watch element if you want to view it on your watch face. And then you can add it to your control wheel if you want. You can add it to your glances if you want, or you can always get to it by pressing and holding the bottom right button on the watch. I should also mention we did all of this stuff on the watch. You can edit your alternate time zones on the Garmin Connect app on your cell phone and then simply sync the information over to your watch. As with most settings, it's easier to do that versus doing it on the watch. But nonetheless, you know how to do it on the watch. I hope the video helps.